Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something a little bit different. As you can see, got a program running right now. We are in Access Data's FTK Imager 4.2.013. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to put my phone out of the way so I'm not distracted. I'm just going to kind of show you how to use FTK. This is a tool that I use a lot. I use this for a class I'm currently taking at Stark State. So I decided to kind of show you a little bit around how to use the program. So for starters, we have nothing here. We're going to need to add an evidence file. And to do that, we have options up here. In the far left corner below File, actually there's two different ways you can add an evidence item. You can either come up here to File and go to Add Evidence Item, or the shortcut you can just click this right here. So we're going to go and do that. And the type of file I'm going to be uploading is an image file, because I'm actually working on a worksheet for my class right now, so I'm just going to use that for this example so I can kill two birds with one stone, get an assignment done and show you how to use the program. So, or if we go to the image file option, I'm going to hit that and I'm going to select next. Now here you have to enter your source path for that file. So to do that, go to browse, and I have the file that I need for my assignment in my download still. I just downloaded it directly from Blackboard. It's titled the C Data Deleted Data Lab, and it's a 001 file. With a lot of these files, default programs on your computer is not going to be able to open them, but with FTK you can. So I'm going to select the file and hit open, then select finish, and it automatically puts the file right in. So getting into kind of an overview of how FTK works, if you look down here, automatically when you add an evidence item to your evidence tree, it's going to bring up your properties. So right here you can see we have some information on the file. We have our evidence source path, the type, our disk, our drive geometry, and the type of image. It's an image type is a raw DD, and right next to that is our hex value interpreter. Here we have some extra information explaining the hex values. Right here our file time is, our local is 8, our assigned integer is 1 through 8, unassigned 1 through 8 as well, and some other information. The custom content sources, there's nothing here right now. This is something that you edit. We have to create a new file to use that. We're not going to worry about that right now though. So if we come back to properties and take a look at the worksheet that I'm working on for the class, over here, document 2, first question is, what device information do you have for the device? So this is a really simple question to answer after you've added your file source to FTK Imager. If someone were to ask you the device information, that's really simple to answer. Like I was just showing you, your properties, this right here will basically answer that question, because they want to know, we want to know the information for the device. That's going to be your properties right here. So the device information would include your evidence source path, your evidence type, your bytes per sector, sector count, and things like that. So the way I answer these questions, I'm going to open my snipping tool. I'm going to make a new snip. And the key to being an IT guy, the less words the better. So instead of typing a response, the easiest way to do this is simply take a snip of what the answer would look like image-wise. I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go over to my document with the questions, tab down, just paste that image, and right there that answers the question of what device information do I have. So the next question they want to know is what file system was used for the device. This is another fairly simple question that you can answer after once you've added an evidence item to FTK. So they want to know the file system. That can be easily founded if you open your very first plus sign right here. As you can see, our file system, this is our file system information. We have our cluster size, the count, free cluster, volume, serial number, and our timestamps. Again, we still have that hex value editor, and we have our custom content source if we want to create a custom image. But right here, we have over in our file list, we have our FAT1 and FAT2. Now these are important to know, but to know the actual file system type is this first option here in our evidence tree, our A113 FAT16. The FAT16 is, the name of it is, if you see down here, the name of it is FAT1 and FAT2, but our overall file system metadata is going to be FAT16. So to answer question 2, this one's pretty simple. We don't need to screenshot this. Oh, I keep doing that. Why do I keep doing that? We can just simply answer this question without a screenshot. So for this answer, FAT16. That answers that question. Next question, what files were in allocated space on the device? So this question is going to be a little bit different because with this type of image file that we have, I'm going to go ahead and open all these. If you see down here, if we go directly from the root straight down, skipping all of these details, which we don't need right now. People need to stop texting me. I'm trying to make a YouTube video. You can see we have our unallocated space here. Notice we have no allocated space on this drive. So, to answer the question for our allocated space, we're safe to say that there is none. And this will happen fairly often. This device just simply does not have any allocated space on the drive. Now, I'll be honest, I was a little confused at first. Some people may confuse root for allocated space. That is false. Your root directory and your allocated space are two different things. So don't get that confused. If you don't see allocated space but you see root is not your allocated space. They're two different types of folders. So it's safe to say that this image has no allocated space. So to answer that, we can just simply type there is no allocated space on this device. Done. Now, on the other hand, oh, I did that twice. I'm not sure why I did that. I must have already answered that question. So, the next question is, what were in... Wait a minute, this is... Oh no, never mind, this is correct. What files were in the unallocated space on the drive? So this question we're going to have to do a little bit of digging, but not too much. Our unallocated space... I did it again. We have this folder. The size is pretty big. It's 46,472. So we've got all these crazy looking numbers that some of you more non-technology advanced people out there may not understand what this is. What this is the hex values, hash files, and all whatnot. And it's showing off our unallocated space. And as you can see, it goes on for quite a while. Scroll back up. So to view this, I did it again. So the question is, they want to know what files were in that unallocated space. So before we dig too deep, the simple answer to this question is, oh, wrong button again, is this file right here. This is our unallocated space. So to answer this, we can simply take another snapshot, whatever you want to call it, select what you want to take the image of, let go, copy, and simply paste this in. And since I like to keep my things together, I'm just gonna knock this down a ways. And it's okay, I'm gonna have multiple pages, but that's alright. So this tells you the files that are in the unallocated space. Now, we want to know what the files are. As you notice, we are getting an overview of this unallocated space folder, and we've got all, like I said, we got all these crazy numbers. But to really dig deeper into this, there are two things that we're going to do. Oh, go away. I promise I don't actually watch it. I have that saved from my cousin when I babysit her sometimes. Okay. So to do this next part, select your unallocated space file, right click. There's two things we're going to do here. The first thing I'm going to do is we're going to export the file hash list. What this is going to bring up a spreadsheet of all those hash files from the unallocated space. I think I already made a folder. Yes, right here, recovered data. So what you want to do, you can make a folder on your desktop, and I named it recovered data because that's what it is. We are recovering data. I'm going to title it hash values deleted data lab, and simply hit save. And it's going to take a moment, and it's automatically saved those files. We're going to go take a look at that in one more minute. But the next thing we're going to do is we need to export our files so we are able to view the files as well. Simply right click on that. I'm going to go to desktop again. Look for recovered data. Nope, I don't want that. I want recovered data. Select OK. Now, it's not going to make a folder, but it's going to make a file, and it's going to export it. And as you can see, that's a lot of bytes that it has copied. So, our results are good. Select OK. Next, like I said, the question is, what were the files? So to see the files, we will simply close that. Side note: this is the logo of the band I am currently in, Dying of the Light. Please go like us on Facebook. Continuing, I'm going to open this folder titled that has my recovered data. First one we'll take a look at is the hash values. I'll just wait a minute here for it to load. So here we have the hash values for the unallocated space. Now, as you can see, like I said, it's opened in an Excel spreadsheet. Problem is, you can see we can't see this full thing. So if you click here, you can drag this over so you can view the full hash value. So these two values are going to help answer our next question that asks, what were the files? So simply create a new snip. Boom. Copy again. And paste it in. Next, we will close that. I don't need to save it. Here is our file with the rest of the information. Of course, I was afraid this would happen. Open it in Notepad instead. So this is, I know this looks like insane. This we don't really need. So to answer the second part, we can say this part really isn't needed to answer the question, but I am just going to add a note that, okay, so this is titled 39098. 39098. The 3908 file is unaccessible in, but at the same time is. After exporting the file, we are given a very lengthy, I can't spell, notepad file containing many hash values and other details that look long and difficult. I cannot spell today. And of course, to view. However, here is a screenshot showing an overview of what I was able to dig up. So like I said, we don't necessarily need this, but I'm going to go ahead, just for the extra credit possibility, creating a new snap. I'm just going to highlight this, copy, and paste that in. So our next question is going to be, were there any files you could not examine? If so, what were the files? So here it was kind of interesting. Now we are going to dig through our root file to look for files that we could not examine, either that meaning they're not able to be opened or for other various reasons. So let's take a look at this first folder. Okay, this we're able to open. This we're able to open. These two we can open, but we are given hex files, and if we do an export on this, we're gonna get that same thing. Now if we go to Super Scan, take a look at this. This we can also view. We can view it. We can view it. And now the same idea for this file. If we take a look at our OFS clone folder, again, we get that. We are able to view this PDF. Let's hop into the system volume information. Here's our volume guide. So a lot of this information we are able to view, but like I said, there are some things we can't. So to answer that question, see, like all these we can see. So if we go back to our root folder, we can view all these as well. So to answer this, I am going to Snipping Tool, New, select this, copy. Okay, so all JPEG, PNG, and the doc file. The JPG files are all viewable along with the host.doc file. However, if we open which file was it? So our OFS clone.zip exporting the file will do the same as what happened with the 39098. Let's take a look at some other things that we can't open. So if we go to the DCFIDD, The manual is viewable. So I'm going to make another snip, 2 snips actually. I'm gonna make these like this. Copy, copy, copy. Paste that. And I am going to make a new one again and paste this one as well. In the DCFLDD folder, these 2 files are accessible. However, what were they? .ddl extension and superscan .ddl no, I'm sorry, not DDL, DLL. And the superscan Okay, so that answers that question pretty good. There are other things that we can't view, but we just need a simple outline of what generally we cannot view. So, moving on to the final question. We want to know, was there any overall theme to this file? Well, let's take a look. If we hop back into Imager, we can see in the root file we have some photos here. All these photos seem a bit foreign. Mission Impossible. Online code access. So to me, from seeing these photos, like I said, we have photos of some different locations along with Mission Impossible. So, in my crazy mind, oh wait, that doc is not viewable. I said that wrong. Let's go back for just a moment so I can fix this. In my crazy mind, I would say, I did it again, that whoever had this file was looking at some locations. I'm gonna say, from seeing this Linksys website, that they were looking at excuse me. They're looking at an IP address. Mission Impossible. They've got code access here. I'm going to say that maybe they were trying to access the documents of these 2 locations either large hotels. See, one thing about online hacking is people who do this, most people who do hacks online, they're looking for important information pertaining to pretty much anything. So this photo right here could represent the fact that someone was trying to get into this facility's important information and files, and same with this. This is a big city. Maybe our hacker was attempting to you see all these lights are on. Maybe this hacker was attempting to shut down the city's power remotely. So that could be a possibility. And the reason I'm wondering this is because in our capture, our logo, we've got this random photo that says Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. So it's very possible that that's what our hacker was attempting to do. Especially since we see here that they were examining a IP address. So, oh, of course I did it again. Now this part you can use your imagination a little bit. So for this, the overall theme, I'm going to say my thoughts is that it's possible a hacker was an impossible mission to shut down the power of the city in the image below. To remotely, I am not the best typer. My thoughts is that it's possible a hacker was attempting an impossible mission to I said that backwards. To remotely shut down the power of the city in the image below. And for he was examining and for this I will say from the images images below, we can see it's possible they were attempting to use the IP address as a way to access internal information. And to explain the other photo, online launch code access. It's possible he was trying to access certain codes and launch them to shut down the system. What was it called? I forget already. Online launch code. Online code tool is possible to have been used to launch a code into the network or database of the facility to shut it down or access information that has become vulnerable to the hacker. Okay, we are pretty much done. Last thing we are going to do is I am going to paste some of these images into the document so that the instructor can see. This as well, copy and paste. Copy and paste. Okay, we are done. So that kind of shows you an overview of how we can use, and I did it again. This shows an overview of how you can use FTK Imager to analyze devices. Like I said, not only you can use it for images, you can use it for a physical drive, a logical drive, image file, or contents of any folder, excluding deleted or unallocated data. Just remember, it's the logical file level analysis only. That basically sums up this video. I hope that everyone has a good day. Stay safe during this time. I know that there's a lot going on with COVID-19. So I just hope that everyone stays safe, stay active, even though you really can't do much. But in other words, you guys have a good afternoon, and I will see you in my next video.